It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. This is the Action Sports Jax Postgame Show, sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Oh boy.
Well, that place is a house of horrors. Has been for a long time.
The House of Horrors was in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, true. House of Horrors, Houston. We'll name Nashville something else. Unbelievable. Jaguars not good again today in Houston. And quite frankly, not really sure how good Houston is.
They're not good.
You leave these games and you're like, well, Jaguars might have run into a buzzsaw. No, they didn't. Not against Miami. No, they didn't. Against Cincinnati. No, they didn't against Houston. Jaguars just are not good. And now the draft pick discussion can ensue.
Not good and injured. And you know what? You can't blame the defense today, I don't think. I thought the defense did about as well as they could. They got a couple turnovers. They gave the offense chances. But you look up in the fourth quarter, you got 7 points. You're not going to win an NFL game with 7 points, not in this day and age. I thought the offense was not good today. I thought the game plan was bad again. I thought James Robinson got 13 touches. What did we say going in?
Yeah, I mean, the worst run defense in the NFL.
Run the football, man. And what did they do in the first play? They got 11, right? And then what did they do? Pass.
Punt.
What are we doing?
And Jaguars obviously have a bunch of issues with the injuries, but also with their kickers. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But they left points on the board left and right. They get 2 turnovers, get nothing out of it.
0 out of 2 turnovers, which started on the other side of the 50.
Yeah. I think the game plan for Todd Wash and this defense today around Watson was good.
Yeah.
Obviously, it crumbled a bit in the fourth quarter, but I think it was pretty good. But this is the ceiling of the defense, Dan.
I like your background. Can we take that again? That's a good-looking shot right there.
This is where we're at.
I'm sorry. I like that little blue, that teal back there.
Very good.
Sorry.
I'm glad we added this camera to the postgame show. Two turnovers and 23 points, but they still allow 300 and something yards. I say 23 because they turned it over on their end of the field, so they got a short field.
Yeah.
But it's still, that's the ceiling for the defense. Like you said, you think they played well. That's a 30-point performance for 3 games in a row, I believe it is. And that's how good the defense can be right there. And the Jags still couldn't make it a game. They're still down 2 possessions.
4th and dumb. I mean, one of the all-timers. I mean, I know they're trying something different, trying to be creative. Save that for not 4th and 1. You got a rookie. Okay, it's 4th and 1. And what was the score at the time, Brent? Was it 20 to 7 at the time?
20 to 7. Right? It might not have been. No, it was 13-7.
13-7.
It was 13-7.
4th and 1. And Marone eschews the kicker after that, which I thought was because they had a couple chippies that he gave up 6 points that Hauschka's probably going to make those. And I'm not going to kill the kicker here. He's terrible. Jags shouldn't have hired him, though. They looked at him working out. Anyway, that's it. 4th and 1. Inside the 20, inside the red zone. MINSHEW in motion. Robinson takes direct snap, rolls out to throw it. He's a rookie running back who has never thrown a pass.
He's playing his 5th game.
And he drops the ball, tries to scoop it forward.
It was a mess.
Turnover.
It was the season in a nutshell. It's the Jags in a nutshell. It's really where they're at right now in a nutshell. Dan, I even take you to a play earlier because it was 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
And they passed the ball again.
Yeah.
Why aren't you running the football?
I don't know.
Like this team can't stop the run. They're the worst in the NFL.
Right.
And now the story out of here is going to be like, well, they stopped the run. No, they didn't.
Right.
They didn't try to run against you. And so I think the other you've seen this in the college game, right? Spurrier days and Mullen now does it. We see it college. We see trick plays more in college.
Right.
The trick plays, I love them. Everybody loves them. Mm-hmm. But the trick to the trick play is knowing what time of the game to call it.
Yeah.
And that was a bad time of the game to call it.
Well, more Jags in a nutshell. So the Jags are down, what is it, 7, Jags take the 7-3 lead. Houston answers, boop, 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 4 plays, 10-7.
Yeah.
Jags are driving. At the end of the half, they've got Hauschka. He somehow inexplicably misses a 24-yard field goal.
24-yard.
Okay. All right.
We wouldn't even pull a hammy on a 24-yard.
Houston gets the ball with 35 seconds left. And Romeo Crennel, new coach, hey, we're going to be aggressive. So they throw it. Somehow the Jags get a pick. And so, again, right before they're getting ready to kick a field goal, we get a hold.
First
Juwan
penalty
Taylor
on
holds.
Juwan Taylor.
And by the way, he held J.J. Watt about 4 times today. J.J. Watt's not near the player he used to be, but Juwan Taylor held him a bunch of times. But anyway, so that moves him back 10. Now it's 49 yards, and he comes up woefully short. And obviously, he's favoring the knees, hurt. He shouldn't have been kicking today. They should have went with whoever they just signed to the practice squad or whatever. But that's so Jags. They get a second chance, and they can't cash in, and so they go to the locker room trailing.
The yin and yang as we get ready to take Doug Marone press conference. Doug's got to feel like anything we try, we just can't do.
Right.
Right? I mean, they know the kicker's struggling probably from over 45 yards. They go into this game knowing that, and they get a holding call of all things on that play right before. Right. Instead of 39, it's 49, and that's the difference. I mean, I've never seen, Dan, a kicker that short on a 49-yard kick in the NFL, at least in the last 20 years.
I know.
I don't remember that.
Well, the bottom line is the Jags fall to 1-4 now. They've lost 4 straight against 3 not great football teams for sure.
Well, by record, bad.
I'll go ahead and tell you all this. There's only one team in the history of the NFL, the 1992 San Diego Chargers, not of Los Angeles at the time, that started 0-4 and made the playoffs. This Houston team in no way, shape, or form is going to make the playoffs, in my opinion.
No, they will not. Here's the updated look at the AFC South standings.
Yes.
And listen, the Jags have now put themselves in the draft pick talk. I mean, the season, I'm not going to say the season's over. That's disrespectful to all the players and coaches.
Yeah, they got to keep playing to win.
They're going to play hard. They played hard today.
They did.
They're just not very good. We knew that.
Yeah.
And the offense, now they just can't yin and yang. They can't do things. When the offense is good, the defense stinks. When the defense makes a play, the offense stinks. When the kickers can't kick. I mean, it's just that kind of year right now. And so now you start looking ahead. And it's going to become, Dan, should the Jags even win anymore? I mean, it's going to get into that talk.
It's close. And I don't want to do it. He tries hard. He plays well. And he has great moments. But I'm sorry, man. I don't see it from MINSHEW. I don't see it. He's not a guy. He's a great dude, man. I love him. But Brent, I mean, so many dump downs, and when he throws it, like the one to Conley is an easy 6 points, but it's a punt for him. He's got to throw it way up in the air, and Conley had to wait, almost fair catch.
I thought the recognition on that play as he's scrambling is a good thing, right?
And
so that's the good part.
That's what he's good at. Like when he can play freestyle football. Like what was the one he threw the touchdown pass?
Yeah, to Colin Johnson.
Yeah, he stepped up, he got away, wiggled. Now he's freelancing. That's what he did last year. That's what a lot of
these guys do now.
That's when he's at his best. But that's not what you can call. You can't say, hey, freelance on 2, freelance on. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, Deshaun Watson's best in that role.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he's good.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson is forcing himself. Deshaun Watson had a third down play before he threw the touchdown where the whole field was wide open. It was 3rd and 5. He could have just jogged for 10 yards. He threw it into the ground. It was terrible. Romeo said, we go for it on 4th and down. Of course, they convert and score a touchdown. And I know the statistics are misleading, man. Here comes Doug Maroney's sitting down, so we'll
more on Gardner Minshew in a
dial
bit.
him up and continue our Minshew discussion here as we listen in on the Jaguars coach.
We'll go ahead and get started with Jamal and then Mia.
Hey, Coach. Obviously not the game you wanted. James Robinson, 13 carries. Did you hope to be able to get him more involved in that and have a better, balance on offense?
I mean, we felt like we had a good plan going in. There's some things that we wanted to take advantage of. So I think every time you lose a game, it's always going to be questioning, how many times so-and-so got the ball or what you did. So, again, whatever we did wasn't obviously good enough. So I acknowledge that.
And the 4th and 1 play with the halfback pass, looking back on it, I know hindsight's 20/20, but do you wish you just handed that ball off and tried to power forward for that 1 yard?
Well, I mean, we worked on that play a bunch. I mean, you work on things in certain situations. I think that we felt very comfortable with it. I don't think we did a good job executing. I don't think we sold it well enough because the corner was able to get off on it. So, you work on something during the week. You feel comfortable about it. You know when you're going to call it in that situation, and we just didn't execute it. So, to ask your question, if I had to go back and knowing it wasn't going to work, would I rather run something else? Obviously, I would. But that's what we worked on, and that's what we were, preparing for.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jamal. Let's go to Mia and then Hayes.
Hey, Doug. Obviously, Hauschka misses those 2 kicks in the second quarter. What was your conversation with him at halftime, and what is the game plan moving forward?
Well, I was just going to make sure I just was with the team. I think that, our guys are playing extremely hard. We weren't able to take advantage of, there's a certain sequence of, the 2 turnovers where we weren't able to get, the momentum back on our side or turn them into, points or touchdowns. And then I thought Cole's big return out to the 39-yard line with the way we're moving the ball, we should have got it into range to be able to score, and we had 2 negative plays. So, there's opportunities out there that we didn't take advantage of, and that's why, we came out with the loss.
But as far as the kicking game goes, I mean, where do you guys go from here in terms of the kicking game?
I think we'll figure that out as we go. I mean, obviously, it's with the way the ball was being kicked, it's it just doesn't have any. He said he just didn't have any pop. In his leg.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Thanks, Mia. Let's go to Hayes, and then Gene, and then Gary.
Doug, how'd you feel like Gardner played today?
I think at the end of the day, I mean, you talk about individual guys. I'm sure that Gardner wishes, he had some plays back and was able to, make some more plays for us to win. I think whenever you get, those questions and you lost, I mean, obviously everyone, including myself, we want to get more. So I think it's difficult. I think, at the end he was throwing there and, I think he was, 31 for 44. And, so, he had 2 touchdowns, didn't have any interceptions, had the fumble, got hit from behind, trying to make a play. So, that's always difficult. So, he's doing everything he can. We just got to, execute better.
And what'd you see out of Sidney Jones?
I saw the 2 pass defenders. I was excited about it. I think, he had an opportunity, came in and did some good things. So, we'll go back and look at it. I think, he's a guy that came in here and, he's been bouncing around a little bit and he's worked really hard. And, I was happy to see him. I mean, he almost got the pick on the 1. They went to undercut it, got his hand on the football. But I think it was good to see him out there. And I think that he's someone that can, help us down the road now.
Great. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Hayes. Gene, let's go to you, and then Gary.
Hey, Doug. You said earlier with regard to not, and talking about James Robinson and his kind of lack of carries today, he only had 13, that there were other things that you wanted to try to take advantage of it. What was that? Especially, I think it's a fair question given that the Texans were last in the league in run defense.
Yeah, I think that we wanted to, go after certain people. We wanted to make sure that, we could, score touchdowns. We wanted to be able to push the ball down the field. We wanted to, we thought we'd be able to, do a better job, converting a lot of those things. So, I mean, those are the reasons. I mean, we go into a week game plan, and I mean, we can't really predict. We felt that was going to give us the best opportunity. I mean, to go in there and, we felt like we were going to have to score, and we didn't. And I think the game plan that we were trying to put together was, to be aggressive and push the ball down the field and, score points. We felt coming in with, a lot of the, the defensive players out. We thought we wanted to get a game plan where, we could score. And I mean, that's as simple as it is. I think, that's what we were planning, and we didn't execute it. I think that's a fair answer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Gene. Let's go to Gary and then John Shipley.
Doug, you guys got pretty good pressure on Deshaun. I mean, it's hard for anybody to catch him. He does the same thing to almost anybody. But talk about you did make him work a little bit. You did get him on the run and comment on Dwan Smoot in that regard and how he played.
Yeah, I think overall, all those guys, there's been a lot of pressure on us to get to the quarterback. I think that we changed a lot of things up today. We mixed some things up. We were able to get some pressure, get them off the spot. It's always difficult to get them down. I think, a lot of times when we were pressuring or, in man, I think, they had a good matchup. I think Brandon Cooks had a big game and, he was able to find them, and go to him, and the guy made plays. So, it's one of those things where I think all those guys up front were busting their butt effort-wise, not just Smooth, and really trying to get into the game, trying to get pressure, trying to stop the run, these things that we ask of them. So, at the end of the day, they were able to make the plays, and we weren't able to. I thought the effort though was good. It's just we've got to get it right, play in and play out, and be able to win some of those matchups. Which we did a couple, but not as much as we need to win the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to John Shipley and then John Reed.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about margin of error last week. How much does it hurt a team when you guys aren't able to score off of turnovers and a play like Keelan Cole's long kick return?
Yeah, I think, that was a key to the game, not being able to take advantage of the turnovers or the kickoff return. Like I said before, with Gene's question or the running back question, we were planning on coming in here and thinking that we were going to have to score points with the injuries that we had on defense. So that's the plan that, we tried to put together, and obviously it didn't work well. But, that's what I'm talking about, where, we move the ball at times and look good, and then you have opportunities, and you you need to take advantage of it, because if you don't take advantage of it, then this is what happens. I mean, the swings in your way, and the momentum is always tough to capture. And when you have a time where you have the situations like we've had, especially after the turnovers or having the ball down there on the 2 or 3 yard line, you've got to turn those into points, and we weren't able to do that. So that's on all of us.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, John. We've got time for 2 more, so let's do John Reed and Mark Long.
I'll get this real quick. Coach, can you just talk about just your inability to just get everything clicking on with all 3 phases? And this is like the 4th game that has happened.
Yeah, I think you get to a point where you're basically pulling. I'm pulling for these guys. I'm pulling for these 3 phases to come together, and we're working on that, and we talk about that, but we're not able to do that, play in and play out right now. We're not able to, and it's not like we don't have opportunities. There's opportunities out there. We just haven't been able to take advantage of it. So, we just got to, work as a whole. I mean, and the reason why I say that, John, is because, just like I told the team before I came in here, I mean, the effort of how they're playing is, I can't ask for more. Now we can play smarter and we can make some plays, yes. And these are the things that we've got to have to do, and we have to go out and get ourselves a win, because, it stinks, when we've lost, now 4 in a row, and the one thing about it is these guys work hard, and they've got to learn to take advantage, and we've got to learn to win some of these games and learn to get this momentum back in our favor, and these are the things that we have to do to win, and we're not doing it right now.
Thanks, John.
Doug, the Josh Jones ejection, I was just curious your thoughts on that. And then did you have an idea it was going to be a long day defensively when you're playing without 3 of your top studs like that?
The Josh Jones things, from the angle I have, I understand that. I mean, I don't argue that call. I mean, I think that's we're trying to protect players and player safety. So, I'm behind that 100%. I don't think that Josh was malicious where he tried saying to do that. I think he was just trying to make a play, and things happen, and it's probably the right call, not having seen it in slow motion. But, beyond that, knowing that the players were, not going to make it, obviously you change, what you try to get done. But I thought early on, I think when they hit the big coverage, we had a new starter in there that kind of missed it, and with the over route from the tight end, that he should have been. We want to be looking at that, so that gave up the touchdown. But they were playing hard and playing their butts off. So those are the kind of things that are going to go on. I was just disappointed that we didn't take advantage of the opportunities that presented themselves in the game, because we can't let those things go by. We have to be able to take advantage of it, because, like you said, I mean, we don't have a large margin or anything of that nature. It's not like we have to play perfect. I'm not saying that, but we've got to play better than we are.
All right. Thanks, Mark. And thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right. That's Doug Marrone. You heard his comments. The plan to score a lot of points. Knew that missing Miles Jack and C.J. Henderson and Josh Allen, which obviously 2 of those guys, well, maybe all 3 were a surprise to him. And Monday, he was very confident that those guys were all going to be able to play. Ultimately, that didn't work out, and so the Jags end up losing and how to Houston 30-14 on a day where really nothing went right for the offense.
Nah, not really. Again, they showed the ability to move it. MINSHEW got hot again. He hit 12 straight passes at one time, I think it was, or 11.
Oh, yeah.
And, they got in a rhythm. They can do it. When they get in a flow, it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay. But I still think that third quarter, last week it was the third quarter. This week it was an important drive in the third quarter. They got another stop, and they couldn't go down there. They kicked it right away. They just get out of any kind of flow. Interesting, Marrone said that at the end, and this is a couple of times now. He basically is talking about the talent on the roster,
right?
And he's hinting at the talent on the roster.
But there can be no divisiveness there, because he and Dave are together on this. They were together 100%. When Tom left, it was going to be Doug and Dave. Doug and Dave are going to report right to Shad, and away we go. And so you can't now start pointing fingers at each other.
No,
you know?
I don't necessarily think he's doing that.
I'm
I
not
think
saying
he's,
that either.
I think he's basically saying, hey, we got to play pretty darn clean.
Oh, there's no
and that's
doubt.
what they said. They
Yeah.
said, we got to play clean. And when you don't play clean football and convert on third downs and keep drives
Brent,
alive.
They're a terrible team.
They're
I mean,
bad.
they're 1-4. They haven't played any really. This first 2 weeks seems so long ago now.
It really does.
We talked about the first quarter being fairly easy, and they came out of that 1-3. They just lost to a winless team to start the second quarter. They're going to play Houston, Detroit, and the Chargers in the rest of the second quarter. And then the whole second half of the year, it's going to be Katie bar the door. They're going to be double-digit underdogs week after week after week.
This really has the feel. It's not as bad, okay? On paper, it's not as bad as the 2013 team.
Right.
But it has the feel of when Gus Bradley took that team, they ripped it up and went 0-8, historically bad.
Yes.
And now they're historically bad, by the way, on defense, even worse than that team right now. And, of course, the league's changed a bit since then, too. But that team got better at the second half of the year, and it's almost like the Jags have taken that approach. Can we get better in the second half of the year? Well, you're going to have tough teams to do it against, is the point.
They do have a lot of young players, so maybe they can get better as they go along because they're not getting any help from outside. So, again, and James Robinson is a really great find, and he's been terrific, and he's a good running back. But he's not a game breaker.
No,
right?
Yeah, and he's not going to carry the team.
No.
He's done enough. He's done his part.
He has, and then some.
Yeah.
But he should have got the ball more today, and Marone had a hard time defending that, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too. And I believe last year, John DeFilippo, I thought he did a bad job inside the red zone. I thought the play calls were bad, and therefore the Jags executed poorly. I think at times the Jaguars are doing a poor job, as we have Gardner Minshew at the podium right now. So let's hear from him, then we'll talk a little bit more about the red zone and a little bit more about Minshew.
What were they doing specifically to take DJ away from you today?
I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily more about what they did or more about what we didn't do. We got to have more of an effort to get him involved in the game early and keep him involved. So I think that's not as much, I think anytime you have something like this, you have to look more inward than outward.
And then from the plays that Laviska and Colin made, pretty confident that these guys, with their physical skills, is there a catch they can't make? Colin with the leaping one in the end zone, Laviska went up high. Is it just fun to play with guys that's talented?
Yeah, they're great. And getting better. The only ones they don't catch are the ones that throw bad. So I'm going to keep throwing it to them, give them chances, and I think they're going to keep making plays.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Gary. We'll go over to Jamal and then to Mia O'Brien.
Hey, Gardner, fourth loss in a row. You guys are in last place in the AFC South now. How do you guys get this thing turned around?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. It's something we ask ourselves every week. We're gonna have to go in and look at the film. I know it's a broken record, and trust me, we feel the same. But we just gotta look in the mirror, reevaluate, and just find a way to win.
And how much of a hit to the momentum you guys had going early were those missed field goals? Did it just feel like, it took everything you guys had moving forward out of you at that point?
Well, the only reason we're kicking those field goals is because we didn't execute in the red zone, So that's more on us than as an offense and special teams. So, anytime, we want to be one of the best in the league in the red zone, and, we got to earn that week in, week out. And we didn't do that today.
Thanks, Gardner.
Thanks, Jamal. We'll go to Mia O'Brien and then John Shipley.
Hey, Gardner, I know all four losses have come in different fashions, but is there one thing that you see as a trend through those four losses that needs to be fixed?
I don't know. That's a good question. We were actually just talking about that in the locker room, trying to figure out, what it is, what's missing. Because, we have moments where we feel really good about it, moments that it just all goes to shit kind of, and we just got to figure out how to, be more consistent and, keep moving forward.
And I know you were also an advocate of trying to get James the ball more running game. At what point do you think you guys kind of got away from that in that he only had, I believe it was 13 carries today?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be the thing. We're going to have to look back at the film. I think he did a good job catching the ball today. That's another way. Just, touches in general are good. But, yeah, we ran the ball well early, and, we just got to capitalize on that momentum.
Awesome. Thanks, Gardner.
Thanks, Mia. We're going to go over to John Shipley, and then we'll wrap up with Gene Fournette.
Hey, Gardner, can you just talk about the frustration when the offense isn't able to capitalize off of some of the turnovers today or Keelan's long kick return?
Yeah. We couldn't ask much more of what the defense did today. They gave us opportunities with short field, and, we wasted it. So we got to do better in that sense. There's no, there's no pointing fingers anywhere else but ourselves.
Thanks, Gardner.
Thanks, John. We'll wrap up with Gene Fournette.
Hey, Gardner. Is there a concern on your part that this young team, now that you're in this losing streak, that it's really going to struggle to learn how to win? It's one thing to come out of the gate, you get the win first week. Now you've got four. Now you've got some adversity hitting you. Any concerns about that this team will struggle to learn how to win in clutch moments during the game?
Yeah, I don't know. We definitely have concerns all over the place, but, I believe in the guys that we have. I believe that we're all, on the same page. Everybody's fighting their tail off. Like, effort's not an issue. Like, we just got to, pinpoint what exactly is going wrong, keep putting that same effort forward, and address those issues.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gardner.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Brent, help me remember here because I'm older than you. The Dolphins, the Bengals, and today's game with the Texans. Are they all double-digit losses?
No, 8 points by the Bengals, 33-25. But they were down by 2 possessions in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And so they were 2 possession games late.
I don't feel like we're close against these teams the last 3 weeks.
Not really. First half has been better the last couple of weeks,
Yes.
right? Because there was 13-10 lead, and then this one
Yes.
was 10-7, but kind of should have been in the lead with a couple kicks. And so, but the third quarter's been atrocious. We were starting to talk the first few weeks about why can't they come out of the gates quick?
Right.
Well, now the third quarter's been atrocious for this team the last 2 weeks. And I think it speaks to this, Dan. I've been waiting for the offense because I think the offense is halfway decent, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, I've been waiting for them to be the identity of the team.
Right.
The Jags still have no identity, and we're 5 weeks through the season. This is their identity. They're a kicking carousel nightmare here in the NFL.
I do want to point out there is one bit of good news. The Jags are a perfect 5-0 on the coin flip this year.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. If the game could only stop then.
And they've made all the wrong decisions because they haven't been productive one time on the opening kick, whether it's their offense or defense.
After deferring the first 3, they deferred the first 3. They were down 7-0, and then they took the ball and they didn't score.
0 for 5 in production.
Yeah. So Stephen Hauschka, I don't think that looks like an injury to me. He's not that bad a kicker. I don't know if he'll be kicking next week.
He can't be kicking next week.
I think it might be John Brown or Aldrich Rosas if he's healed. Or
go find my social media. We are accepting kicking applications. We want video. Can you kick a 24-yard field goal, maybe up to a 49-yard field goal, and I will be your agent for the Jags. I mean, we might have a chance.
Oh, boy.
We might have a chance. I mean, that's where we're at with the kicker situation. I might even go try to pull a hammy.
All right,
and see if I can
let's wrap it up with talk about MINSHEW for just a second. Because we were talking about him before we got into the interviews and the post game. Where do you stand with Gardner MINSHEW now? Again, he's going to get a 16-game audition, that we know, right?
Yep.
And we're taking a look at it. I think that stuff's a little bit misleading anyway. And that's 49 attempts for 301 yards. Again, I go back to something I've been saying for weeks now. Don't drive the ball down the field. Why don't we drive the ball? So many checkdowns, I think, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go back and look tonight. Now, I'm curious to see how many times he took the short throw, which is not always the wrong throw. No. I want to make that clear. But too many times, the ball's not coming out, and then he gets a little skittish in the pocket, and then...
I see all that, Dan. He makes some beautiful throws. Some of the best we've seen in a decade around here.
Yes.
Split 2 defenders, the nice throw to Keelan Cole.
Yes.
But there's too many skittish moments, I think, like that, antsy moments. And here's the thing I start to hear from the announcers, the analysts.
Yeah.
Late. Why
not
is he
throwing
so
it to the
late
guy
with
out of the break? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like DJ Chark touchdown last week.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah, a little late.
I remember having to wait,
back
and
of the end
that
zone.
should have been just an easy play.
Right.
And it was too late.
Chris Conley down the field, touchdown. Get it out.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about
And by the way, in the
position.
NFL, that's late.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're not like that, that's suddenly late. That's how quick it is. That's how tight it is. That's how much the coverage you have to beat, the windows you have to throw into. So
I will say this, Dan. Last week we did this on Jags Report Live. I gave you a little numbers game of him and Russell Wilson.
Yes.
The numbers are not bad. I will say this, and I believe this. I think Gardner Minshew can be is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
But that's not the question you're asking as an organization.
No.
You're asking, can he be an elite quarterback?
Can he win you a Super Bowl?
Can he win you Super Bowls?
Yes.
Can he win you games? Well, right now he's 1-4. They've lost 4 straight games. This offense has sputtered at times against not so great teams, including bad defenses.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a good check of the box for Gardner Minshew, although I don't think he's terrible.
Right.
But there's a big gap between where you want to be and where Gardner is right now.
Third of the season in. Again, 3 more games that are winnable. Yeah, I want to say that with a grain of salt, the way they're playing. Who knows? Maybe not. And then the second half of the season, have fun.
Yeah. Action Sports Jax Primetime comes up tonight. We'll hear from more of the Jags players, more reaction from what went on and how to fix this or what goes on next. Do you even want it fixed? Or do you just want a high draft pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars? 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47 coming up tonight, Dan.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you a little bit later.
It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. Thanks for watching the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Anachar and Levine Accident Attorneys.